Gary Eilerts. I'm the USAID Program Manager for the Famine Early Warning System Network. From the first days, FEWSnet put an awful lot of emphasis on the use of satellite imagery as a way of answering big questions over big surfaces of land, particularly where the data resources, where our linkages, our ability to be on the ground and looking is very limited. So from the beginning, we worked an awful lot with different satellite products and tried to develop products that would answer food security questions. So we started out with a vegetation index back in the 80s, and it's still one of the workhorses of not only FEWS, but most of the organizations that work in food security, trying to look at the condition of vegetation and expecting that it reflects the condition of crops pretty well. But there are moments when it doesn't. And so there are moments when we say it's not working well enough, we need a new product. And the actual evapotranspiration imagery grew out of one of those moments. Well, I think the biggest change is still to be realized, and it comes from the evapotranspiration product. Theoretically, that's going to give us a much closer view of how the crop develops. And so we'll be able to better match what we see in the imagery with the development of the crop. Now, the problem with a new product is that you've got a lot of users out there that are used to old products and don't know how to use and interpret a product like actual evapotranspiration. We have 50, 60 people in the field who can read an image, normalized difference vegetation index image in a food security sense and tell us what it says about the crop in any place that we monitor. But for us to move them over to an actual evapotranspiration product, it's a process and it's not insignificant. It's going to take some time. Moreover, we also are very aware that the evapotranspiration product is going to tell us different things in different places than our traditional imagery. Certainly in terms of the wetlands and the areas that are irrigated, we'll be seeing different pictures. But even some places where we have been looking and it's not a question of wetlands or moist surfaces or irrigated areas, the evapotranspiration is going to tell us something different that we have to learn how to interpret. I think that high resolution is really the resource that we need for food security issues. It isn't quite that. We really need more temporal frequency. We need to be able to go over a crop on a regular basis and frequently so that we can judge how the crop is developing. So we have really valued the satellite products that are high in temporal frequency and of moderate resolution. So we're dealing with 250 meter resolution, 500 meter, 1 kilometer. Many years ago we were at 7 kilometers. And those have been the real workhorses of most food security assessment because they do allow you to look at how the crop is changing over time, and if you have a good handle on the characteristics of the crop down there, what crop is it? Is it wheat or maize or something else? You can get a fairly sophisticated view of what the crop looks like and make some assumptions about what the outcome will be, what the harvest will be. But we are starting now to worry about more specific areas, and for that we do hope that one day there are products that are higher resolution but also have that temporal frequency that allows us to watch development over time. And there are some promising technologies. There's some private sector groups that are trying to put up some satellites that would provide a 5-meter resolution look at the crops and vegetation of the world, with a system of small low-cost satellites which would give us the temporal frequency we need. So we're watching these very carefully, and we're thinking about how we would make use of the next generation of these small, low-cost and multiple satellites that will be up there that will provide us a new range of products for food security monitoring.